નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી. Welcome students to part 9 of chapter 9 Soil of standard 7 science. In the last part, that is 8th part, we discussed about the absorption of water by soil. That what we discussed, and to understand that we perform an activity also, isn't it? And we come to know, or we find out, or we understand the formula to find out the percentage of water absorbed by the soil, isn't it? That's what we discussed in the last part. Now in this part we will discuss some questions are there in the textbook on the page number 102. On the page number 102, 101. So open your textbook and open page number 102, and there are some questions. Find it out. See, first question is what? Which soil would have the highest percolation rate? Which soil would have the highest percolation rate? Now, first of all, do you know what is percolation? Do you know what is percolation? Okay. If you don't know, then look over here. See, percolation rate is amount of water absorbed by the soil in a given time. Now, let me ask you in some another way that which soil can absorb the water quickly? See, the soil can absorb the water, more water within a given time than the automatically or obviously the percolation rate is more, isn't it? And we know that sandy soil is well aerated and it used to be dry. So the rate of percolation of sandy soil will be the more, isn't it? And that is why, see, which soil would have the highest percolation rate? Naturally, the sandy soil would have the highest percolation rate, isn't it? Now, the next question is that which soil would have the lowest percolation rate? Which soil would have the lowest percolation rate? Now, you know there are three types of soil are there. One of them is sandy soil, second one is loamy soil, and third one is clay soil, isn't it? Now, which soil would have the lowest percolation rate? Now, the clay soil would have the lowest percolation rate, isn't it? Why? Because the space between its particles is very less, isn't it? And that is why the clay soil would have the lowest percolation rate. Then Buzo heard from his neighbor that 8 to 10 days after the rain, the level of water in a pond or well rises. Which type of soil will allow water to reach a well faster and in greater amount? Once again, Buzo heard from his neighbor that within 8 to 10 days after rain, the level of water in a pond as well as in well rises. When rain comes, then after within 8 to 10 days, the level of water rises in well as well as in pond. Which type of soil will allow water to reach a well faster and in greater amount? See, when water rains, when the water used to go to the well from or passing the soil, isn't it? So, which type of soil will allow water to reach the well, isn't it? So first of all, we should know which soil drains the water quickly. See, drain, cause the water to run out, leaving it empty or dry. So which type of soil can drain the water quickly? That is what we should understand. And in which, see, the percolation rate. If the percolation rate is more, then, and same way, if the soil is aerated, well aerated, then and then it is possible to pass the water very quickly, isn't it? And you know that this sandy soil. And the another one, the next to that is loamy soil. Why? Because loamy soil is a combination of sandy as well as the clay soil, isn't it? So if the sandy soil is there, and next to that if there is loamy soil is there, then the water or those soil will allow the water to reach a well faster and in greater amount. Okay, so if it is sandy soil and if it is loamy soil, then it will allow the water to reach to the well faster than the clay soil. Then the next question is, which type of soil retains the highest amount of water and which retains the least? Now first of all, what is retention or retain? See, retain, absorb and continue to hold the water. The soil which can absorb, okay, it will absorb, but after absorption it will hold the water, and that is a clay soil, isn't it? So our question is what? Which type of soil retain the highest amount of water? Which type of soil will hold the water? Absorb the water, then after hold the water, and which retains the least? Then we can say the clay soil will retain the water in the highest amount, and the sandy soil will retain the water in least amount. That is what in fact we discussed it in the last parts in some another way, but by this time we have discussed one more question is there. You can see in the this list here, you can see somewhere over here. One more question is there. Can you suggest any method to let more rainwater percolate and reach the water underground? If you cannot understand this, we will discuss it in the next part. But for that you will have to ask it to me. Then and then we will discuss this question. Okay. By this time, now let's go for the case study. Here you can see a case study is there, and we will discuss the case study which is available on the page number 103. Page number 103. So let's discuss the case study and then we will end this part. John, Rashida and Radha went to Leeladhar Dada and Santosh Malaviya of Sohagpur in Madhya Pradesh. Who went to them? John, Rashida and Radha. And went to whom? Leeladhar Dada and Santosh Malaviya. And where? Sohagpur in Madhya Pradesh. Leeladhar Dada was preparing the soil to make items like surahi, matki, kalla or we can say kulla also. That is earthen frying pan, etc. The following is the conversation they all had with Leeladhar Dada. So there is a conversation. Let's see. Where was the soil obtained from? one of them, say Rashida, John or Radha, have asked the question, where was the soil obtained from? Dada, we bought the black soil from a piece of barren land. The barren land, वहाँ जहाँ पर के कुछ खेती बाड़ी नहीं होती है, ऐसे ही पड़ी होती है, that is a barren land. And we bought the black soil. Which soil? Black soil from a piece of barren land. Then these students asked that, how is the soil prepared? Dada replied, dry soil will be placed in a large tank and could be cleaned of pebbles etc. पहले क्या करते हैं? They take the dry soil and placed in a tank, large tank, and would be cleaned of pebbles etc. After removing these things, the soil will be soaked for around 8 hours. After removing the pebbles and everything, they used to soak the soil for at least 8 hours in the water. This soil would be needed after mixing horse dung. See, then after soaking the soil for 8 hours, they will add the horse dung in it, and then they will knead. वो जो आटा गूंदते हैं ना, वैसे ही सोइल को गूंदते हैं, that is kneading. They knead the soil. The kneaded soil would be placed on the wheel and given appropriate shape. वो अपने wheel पे रखते हैं, then they used to give the appropriate shape. The final shape is given with hands. The items are colored after 3 days of drying. Then after they used to keep it for drying, and after 3 days they will color it. All the items are baked at high temperature after drying in the air. All the things or all the items are baked at high temperature after drying the air. They used to dry these things, they used to put the things into kilns, K-I-L-N-S, kilns, भट्टी, उसमें रखते हैं and उसको bake करते हैं. Then the students are asking, why is the horse dung mixed in soil? That is a very good question. Why they use or why they mix this horse dung in the soil? Dada replied, burnt whole horse dung helps upon burnt horse dung helps open up the pores in the soil. क्या होगा? देखो, horse dung होगा, है ना? Horse dung is available in the soil. When they will bake it in the kiln, when they will bake it at high temperature, then what will happen? The horse dung will burnt, isn't it? And hence it will open the pores in the soil. So the water could percolate out of the matkas and surahis. And so the water would percolate out of matkas and surahis, evaporate and push the water inside. See, if the percolation will happen, then and then it will, the matkas and surahi will be able to cool the water inside it. That is why, you know, Sohagpuri surahis and matkas are famous in far off places like Jabalpur, Nagpur and Allahabad etc. So this was the discussion between John, Rashida and Radha and Dada, that is Leelanand Dada. Now we will end this part and will discuss about the soil and corpse. Okay, so by this time let's close or end this part. Watch this video so that you can understand this question answers, and we'll meet you in the next part. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Take care of yourselves, and we'll meet you in the next session. Thank you.